Boris, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I'm Angela with Lynn Capital. We haven't met too much. I'm new to CMA, but you have been in CMA for a bit. So I'm excited to get to know you a bit more and hear more about LBC Capital and where you've been and more about CMA.
Thank you for having me, and we're actually on a membership committee together.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know when we first met, I think it might even been at the first conference that I attended with my husband, Mike, and we just launched Lynn Capital last year, so plugging into CMA has been huge. And of course, I've noticed your t-shirt, the Got Money, and on our membership committee meetings, you're very much a go-getter, and you have a great spirit about you, and very ambitious. And so again, thank you for sitting down with me today, and let the other CMA memberships and people who are interested in joining get to know you better.
Thank you.
So I did a little research on you, and before getting into real estate, you were like a senior accountant.
So
numbers guy?
I wanted to be an accountant, and it initially a little bit impeded my progress in this business. I worked as an accountant and an analyst for a real estate development firm.
Yeah.
But my accountant mentality, I had this urge to tell people what they need to do with their money, right? Because 30-year fixed, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then I realized that a lot of these people are a lot smarter than me. They've done it. And, it took me a while to learn. I've been in business since 2003.
Yeah. But you're a numbers guy.
I am a numbers
guy.
guy.
Very analytical, which is important in private money lending when you're balancing risk, right? Risk tolerance, and numbers don't lie.
I have two partners in this business, and we have Michelle at our company that a lot of CMA members met. So I have a good crew around me. So I'm the analytical numbers guy. My partner, Vladimir, he's the sales guy. Michelle's compliance. So Alex kind of brings the sanity and level to all the fights we have in the office. I'm the analytical. I'm the guy that says no to every deal and develops procedures as such.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good. Well, so tell me, because you're the founder, and then also I noticed you have a title as fund manager. So tell me about LBC Capital.
LBC Capital was formed in 2011 or 12. The managing entity, our initial company, Lending Bay Inc., was formed in 2003. So we evolved from a conventional mortgage broker to hard money broker to trust deed, to a broker that uses trust deed investors. And then we founded a fund, LBC Capital, in 2011, late 2011, I believe. So it was a transition. We still do other things, but for the main part, we're concentrating on a fund model.
Gotcha. And it seems to be the more growing trend is the fund model. But when you originally started, you were a broker, just like the middleman, putting borrowers and lenders in touch in that middle piece?
Yeah, I was a broker, and we were really out of hard money space. That was 2003. That was, for all of you that read The Big Short or watched the movie, going to these conferences, it was wild, wild west. It was a lot of fun. Plus, I had a little bit more hair and I was a little younger.
Yeah. I started in 2003, really young, out of college. And so even though I went a different route and was on the lender side of it, I'm now in the broker space and learning it is a different space to be in. And I'm kind of did it backwards from you, but there's a lot to learn in this broker space, and I think you can learn a lot about this and make you successful as a fund manager. And
so you started in 2003 as well?
I did, yes.
So
and
you're
then
not as young as you look.
No, I am not, but thank you. That I hope my age doesn't come through too much. It's the good makeup, I guess, that I have going on, and the hair dye, because I have a lot of gray hair these days.
But it's a lot of it's a fun industry, right?
Yeah.
Like I look great for 27-year-old. It's a little bit stressful industry, but no, CMA is a great space to meet, and I've been a member for over 10 years. You're somewhat of a new member, but you bring in vast experience from the field.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and the membership part of it, so, I mean, how long have you been on the membership committee?
About a year and a half.
Yeah.
I was not trying to get involved before. First, I was getting my toes wet, and then I was coming for conferences to drinking party now. I'm kidding. Yeah, now I'm truly trying to get involved. I'm running for the board.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the membership committee I know really appreciates you. Again, you're very ambitious. You have a great energy about you and being a part of it. Like I said, when I first came on, and I was like, I need to get to know that guy. What do you think is the biggest takeaway from the conferences? Like each time that you go.
So it's really the people. We used to go to many conferences. My take on the conferences and businesses general, I'd rather call 100 people 10 times each than call 1,000 people. Same thing with the conferences. Find the room that you like, get to know people, come to the same conferences. We chose CMA, the quality, knock on the other conferences, but a lot of people are here for life. I've been here for 10 years. I know people that have been here since 70s.
Yeah.
The quality of the people and education. When we got when we started in this business, we were still using doc magic docs that were not meant for hard money. Like, we learned a lot of things. You can hire consultants, you can learn as you go, or you can get yourself in CMA. And it's not only me. I bring in my underwriters, I bring in my sales staff here. So I get motivation, I get education, and I get to see, I'm friends with a lot of people from conferences, mostly at conferences, but we talk, and it's a great energy about this room. I come out of this motivated, and great group of people, and you see the same faces. Some other conferences you come, most people, they come and go. There's a core group. Plus, geographically, CMA works for me.
Yeah.
But mostly it's for the people.
Yeah, yeah. So LBC is based out of where? You mentioned geographically.
We're in LA. Our office is in North Hollywood. We recently expanded to other metropolitan cities around the country. So we will land in California, but we're deep in Miami, North Carolina. We will land in other states as well, but only major metros. I'm not going to do Palmdale of Florida, no offense.
True. So what made you kind of venture outside of California?
Well, there's competition, then there is margins in the business. Other states, there's certain product that gives you bigger margins.
Sure.
So one is diversification, two is really bigger margins. Money is more expensive in other states. And also the regulations, the new case where you can charge, you cannot charge default interest unless it's maturity. I'm getting a loan paid off and like, wow, that's a nice chunk of default interest, right? And then I realized it's a California law, it's not a Florida law. Every state, you have to be careful. There is compliance issues, licensing, different foreclosure laws, judicial, non-judicial. But once we didn't just overnight say, hey, we're going to land everywhere.
You did a lot of research.
We did a lot of research. Plus, I've been to Miami many times. I've been to Houston. I lived in Minneapolis. I've been to Seattle many times. I have boots on the ground in Washington State, in DC, in North Carolina. I have people that I trust, so we started from there.
Yeah. And I think it's important, right? Even though CMA, California Mortgage Association, is California, and a lot of us are based here, and a lot of us do business here, you bring up a good point about going out of state. So like Lynn Capital, we're licensed in Florida, whether we don't necessarily probably need it, but we are. And so you bring up here at the CMA, there's a lot of resources for that as well, wouldn't you say? I mean, like with the attorneys, not necessarily boots on the ground, but a lot of our vendors and third-party companies that come in.
There's compliance attorneys, there's doc preparers, and
So I think that's probably like a big highlight. And again, I'm glad you brought that up, because I wonder if some people on this think CMA, that it's just California. And of course, we're focused here, but like yourself going outside California.
Don't give them ideas. Come to me for I'm kidding. Everybody needs to have a niche. Everybody needs to differentiate. We, as another benefit of being a CMA member, there's a lot of operators in the space, but these people, we bounce deals of each other all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
And me and Andrew Forbes and Mark Forbes were working on a large deal in Northern California. I don't feel as comfortable up north as they do.
Yeah.
I don't have the same resources. So as members of CMA, you have a question or need to place a loan out of state, you may call me. You want to do consumer loan, there's other guys. They need Lynn Capital for something that you're more comfortable with.
Yeah.
And there's San Diego guys that only do San Diego. There's Southern California guys. I will do reluctantly Northern California, but I don't feel as comfortable there as I do in my backyard.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of exchange of information, exchange of lenders, and everybody's here. If they don't do something, they will refer you other members. They will say, hey, call Lynn Capital, call Shafiq, call Boris. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's the big thing, is that you can call and pick up any CMA member and give them a call and just be almost vulnerable and be like, I have this project, I don't know much about it, what can you help me with? And it's been a 10 out of 10 where I've been able to get positive feedback from somebody that will just take the time and help me out, or say, hey, I can't help you, but contact this person, and they will.
It's a great camaraderie here.
Yeah.
That's really why we stopped going to most other conferences. And CMA, we're here to stay.
Now, on the membership piece of it, again, you've been here for 10 years. I think I just actually sat in on another interview where someone was 20 years. I think our president has also been here 10 plus years in CMA. So what would you say has been the big change from when you first started, like the growth of membership? Have you seen it continue to grow, or has it kind of ebb and flowed in membership?
So, well, don't forget we had a couple of years of COVID.
Yes.
And it affected some people's businesses. It affected actually conferences. We couldn't meet here. We started doing virtual conferences, which was painful to watch. So I think in the past few years, we just had a meeting where we grew by 40 members. So membership has grew. I think there's a lot of more moving parts in this business. Private lenders are bigger players, as banks are not lending as much. So, membership in the past 2 years, since we were on the committee, so maybe it's me and you, but we grew significantly. Also, there was a point in time where other conferences, started breeding other conferences. There were only a few trade organizations, some California, some nationwide. Then there were spin-offs, so you have a ton of conferences, no offense. So they took some of the members. I mean, you can't, as an organization, you can't really go everywhere, so everybody picks their poison. Great conferences outside of this, Jurassic, APL, but I think we got some of the older members back and we got new ones. I always tell new hires and older people in my company that it's all about foundation. You can be the greatest person that can sell anything to anyone, unless you have the foundation in that business, especially hard money, you have zero longevity in the game. You're going to be that broker that sends crappy deals to to Angela, Boris, and Shafiq, and Brad. But to have a longevity in the business, you have to have a foundation, and CMA gives you that. Compliance, economic updates, new loans, products, ideas. You get education. You get it here. And I think top people in the industry, they have to have foundation.
Well, our keynote speaker today, this morning, was on AI and unleashed creativity, and on that and where it is and how we can implement that in, but also cautiously of course, on that part. But I think that's, again, bring up all the things of what CMA is, as well as the forward-looking piece of CMA, and letting people know what's coming down the pipeline for the private money industry. I mean, it's come a long way since the Doc Magic world, because I remember those two, and it was like, well, this doesn't make sense for anything that we're doing. Or the old days where we, the company that I worked for used to actually send out investment offerings on paper, and we had a gentleman come in and actually take photos, and we would, he had glue sticks, and he glued them on our offering and folded them and mailed them out, and then paper. I mean, the process was so slow to see where we've been, and since 2023 when I started to now with the process of AI and everything, it just blows my mind to think where the last 20 years have gone.
Yeah, you have questions, just ask GPT.
That's right, that's what they think. So LBC Capital, what is your bread and butter deal? Like, if I as a broker want to bring you a deal, you're like, Angela, this is what we want to do. What would that deal look like?
So we're bridge loan provider. We don't do construction fix and flips. We don't. We can, but for the most part, we're bridge ready project, residential and commercial. In-house, we fund up to $7 million now. Southern California is our playground, but we will do major metros around the country. We're pretty deep in Florida, North Carolina.
Yeah, that's great to know, 'cause I get deals
Texas. We're the guys, we're not layered by institutional guidelines, so we're the guys that will fund your simple deal in a week, like literally.
Yeah.
If you send me the full file on Monday, you'll get docs Wednesday, we'll get it closed on Friday.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's really what we're known by. We perform. We may not be the cheapest guys on the block, but we perform, and we're relationship based.
Yes,
You know, if you're talking about pricing, a lot of our relationships, they go back 20 years.
Wow, that's impressive.
So yeah, that's bridge lender, Southern California plus major metros around the country, fast funding.
So aside from location-wise, what is something that you're like, if I bring you a deal, you're like, Angela, absolutely not, hard no, we don't do that?
Yeah, I usually start with that. No weed, no land.
What about a church? Churches are always a hard thing.
I'll do a low LTV church.
Yeah,
We actually
okay.
closed one yesterday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So again, this is not our bread and butter.
Sure.
So no bailouts, no clients with a history of NODs.
Yeah, that were never their fault.
Yeah. No people with 100 FICO scores.
Yeah.
So, and no transitional investors. You know, if somebody inherited the property from their parents that were investors, doesn't make them an investor.
Yeah,
Maybe
good
an
point.
investment property. We like to work with professionals. So some of the things that can be compensated.
Yeah.
I teach my people, just like my new LOs,
Yeah.
just to draw pluses and minuses on a transaction.
Oh.
Okay, you have more than one minus, probably not. You have a minus, it can be overcompensated. So we talked about FICO score,
Sure.
location, location.
Yep.
You know, payment history, things like that. So if
Yeah.
it's more than two minuses, probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, if somebody's FICO is low, but they've been through divorce, everything else is
Sure.
stellar, property, equity, blah, blah, blah. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, we typically want to deal with professional investors, knowledgeable people. Hopefully brokers are solid. That's why, another reason why we're part of CMA.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, we call it like I refer to it about like the 3 C's, like the capacity to pay, their credit, and the collateral. If they can meet 2 of the 3 of those, usually you can find a way to structure a deal that works. But there's another one, character. And you and I kind of talked before all of this about that. And you said, I mean, and I believe it, that you have a good wherewithal to, when you talk to a broker too, and knowing that what you're getting is quality. And it's a hard stop on anything that smells funny, anything that's been doctored up for fraud. It's a hard no for LBC Capital, which as a broker who wants to do things right, I super appreciate and keeping it clean, because there is a lot of bad actors in the industry. Do you find these days with AI that you're seeing more of that bad character in there, that you're having to rely a little more on that, as I say, the 4C, that last character piece?
Absolutely. So real estate doesn't lie, location doesn't lie, and people do. And
really
brokers
good.
lie more than actual borrowers.
Yeah.
That's my experience. I always tell that Google is the best underwriting engine of all when it comes to people. Now we got AI, and I have people that are a lot smarter than me in the office when it comes to technologies.
Yeah.
We actually have our own AI server that we built in the office for other reasons. So we have people in the office and we have a system that does these checks. And obviously, we have a subscription to LexisNexis to run their background. So I'm afraid of people a lot more than I'm afraid of real estate.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, one quick story, we had one, and again, Google's coming on, and it's a big part where, there's a lot more information to investors and lenders out there. We're doing a quick Google search, and one borrower came in, and he actually got arrested for a like domestic violence, something a long time ago where him and his wife got into it. And it was like, oh, do we want to lend to him? Do we not? I mean, the deal was good, but again, kind of brought into character. And man, he always paid, but he paid late, but he was pretty aggressive, like on that personality point, and it ended up working out. But that was kind of always stuck with me on the piece of, like you mentioned, the Google thing and looking at kind of where they've been. And it might not even have to do with real estate, but who you're lending to on the personal part. So
Yeah, and that's why, some things, if you find that there was a financial fraud, is a big no-no.
Yeah.
Somebody got into it with their partner 20 years ago, then you decide.
Yeah.
That's why when you really get the borrower on the phone, you talk to them. We try to get them in the office as much as possible.
And see them face to face.
See them face to face. I like to use my notaries. A lot of attorneys and lenders here, they're against it. They want you to use escrow or title notary. It's our money. I'd like to have my people or have them come to the office, meet with them face to face, shake their hand and look them in the eyes like, you're going to pay me.
That's a good practice, right? I mean, your own people, they know they have a vested interest in making sure that this deal is legit.
Yeah, so I have 3 notaries in the office. Some people that don't want to do it, they overgrew. But, we have like processors for additional income that got the notary license, and they understand these things a little better than somebody the title sends. And I can call them. I mean, I can call a title notary and ask them, like, what feeling did you get from the person?
Yeah.
But, if they're local, we try to get them in the office. Not always successful. Brokers want to have control, or people don't want to drive, but whenever possible. But, we try to communicate with our borrowers as much as possible before funding, just to gauge their, nobody wants to take properties in this business.
No, and I think that's a common misconception of hard money. It's kind of private money, and people say, oh, you're a hard money. I'm like, no, like it's different these days. And many, probably I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would say 95% of private money lenders do not want to own property. That's why they'd rather lend than own real estate. And we actually used to have investors that would say, I don't want to own anymore, I would just want to lend. So again, we're writing rates and terms that should be a win-win for everybody. The investor makes a nice return, the borrower gets the money that they need for whatever period of time, and everybody is a win-win. Foreclosure, nobody wins.
Absolutely, nobody
wins.
It's really lend to own is illegal.
Yeah.
Some of the new kids on the block, they think it's a business strategy.
Yeah.
It never is. I mean, if you want to deal in non-performing space, you go deal non-performing.
Yeah.
You can buy non-performing notes, you can buy real estate. But as private lenders, I have a fund. We get audited every year. I have to disclose to my investors delinquency rates, foreclosure rates, and once it goes up too high, you're gonna have a lot of questions to answer. I mean, I've seen people with going into this business with an idea, but it's a different type of business. Private lenders want to collect their interest. They want to have their investors recline back in a chair, drink pina colada, and collect their interest.
Yeah.
Lead a boring, wealthy lifestyle.
So tell me more about Boris. Like, so when you are not wearing your Got Money shirt and you're, slinging deals, what does Boris do?
So my marketing guys created because all the guys in the office would take these shirts and go to the gym, so they created LBC Capital gym shirt. It's called the gym shirt. I have a 5-year-old, keeps me busy, keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
I picked up playing chess recently.
Oh.
I suck. My rating is 750. If anybody here wants to invite me on chess.com. I try to go to the gym. I used to power lift. And again, recently with a 5-year-old, I'm just trying to get some sleep.
Oh, yeah. I hear that. Mine's 17, and I'm finally getting sleep. But he's about to venture in his next thing, so I got different worries coming up. But he's a good kid. So hold on tight, Dad, because it goes by fast.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
It scares me a little because I'll be 60 when he's 17. So that's why I need to try to go to the gym
to keep
more.
Him,
So just more of a mellow lifestyle.
It's good.
Used to come here for, for events and drinks. Now I'm just trying to get some sleep at the conferences.
Now, what would be one word to describe Boris? Like, if everybody said Boris is, what would that one word be? People would remember you of.
God,
I know, it's a tough
I was
one.
preparing the elevator speech for years, and now you're asking me for one word.
Yeah.
I still did not lose hope in integrity and people keeping their word.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not me, it's my philosophy. I think in business and personal life, we all buy people. And, I really value character, I value integrity, and, never judge a book by its cover.
True.
So I'd put it in one word, but I can't.
I would say integrity for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's important in business dealings, personal, friendship, everything. And like I said, we have business relationships that last 20 years. And same thing, most of my friends, they date back to junior high school.
Yeah.
So
and that says a lot.
I have a nostalgic personality. I sometimes, I like status quo.
Yeah.
So I like old sneakers, old friends.
Well, I hope we continue. I mean, we've only known each other for a year, actually really getting to know each other today. So I look forward to doing business with you. And where do you see LBC? Let's do this. In 2025, everybody has their projections. Remember in 2024, everybody had this. 2025, are you guys have kind of a path you're going this year? Are you mentioned status quo. Are you just going to keep the ship where it's at, moving forward?
So this year, we implemented our own internal dodge. It's an internal joke, but we're trying to trim fat. We're trying to streamline. We'll be trying to become more efficient and do less products, do more with less products, right? We have the capital to deploy, and I don't want people calling me for things, like you asked me a great question, what won't you do? So this is what I'm leading with.
Yeah.
I used to lead with, we can do this, this, and that. I was like, don't send me this, don't send me this. So we're trying to be more efficient. We're trying to scale down the product offering. We increased the loan sizes. I'll still do the smaller sizes for the sake of the relationship.
Yeah.
And we will be launching a second fund that's going to become a little bit more aggressive. That's why we're going to scale down the product offerings here and launch a second fund that's going to be a little bit more aggressive, do a little bit more seconds.
Exciting.
A little bit more adventurous, not stupid, just a little bit higher risk profile. So that's really, but I want to become as a company leaner or more efficient.
Yeah, I love it.
In 2004, we did the same volume we do now, 2005 with 4 people.
Yeah.
58.
That's great. Sounds like you have a good team on your hands. It takes a good team.
Yes,
to
absolutely.
put it together. Yeah, I'm big into the teamwork makes the dream work thing. Probably anybody who reads my newsletters are probably overhearing it, but that's okay.
My guys always like, because we have the Telegram chats, group chats. So
Yeah.
everybody's like high-fiving, it's like teamwork, hashtag teamwork.
It's so important, I think, in most of it, different networking events. And one of the things someone told me one time, which always stuck with me, is always surround yourself with people who are smarter than you.
Absolutely.
And I think the whole piece of it, and again, I guess that goes back to CMA. I mean, I've been in the business for a long time, but nothing near to, your stories are different than mine and your experiences and where you've been. And half the people here, more than all of them, have had different experiences that we can learn from. And so I appreciate you sitting down with me today.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to continuing to work with you on the membership committee. And it's going to be fun to see where 2025 goes for
Thank you.
LBC.
Thank you. We should come back next year.
We
and
should.
see.
Let's see. We should do. You know what? I'll hold you to that. We'll do that.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Boris.